Welcome to the 2020 Planful virtual tour. We were excited this year to take our conference on the road, starting here in San Francisco, into Chicago and New York City, three iconic American cities. With event restrictions in place, however, we are extremely grateful for the opportunity to still host the event here online, and thank you so much for everyone joining us. Let me begin by expressing our sympathies for those deeply impacted by the pandemic and our gratitude to all the medical professionals who've been working under huge stress during this period. We know this has been a trying time for everyone, and by and large, we've seen incredible resilience and fortitude throughout the world. Over the next few days, you'll be presented with content that is not designed to lecture you, nor do we want to give you a history lesson on how we got here. Too many of these events, in my humble opinion, can stray into this. Rather, our goal at Planful is to bring you timely, relevant information, ideas, inspiration, and even new connections that you may never have made. We want to help you meet the very tough challenges of today and seize the opportunities for tomorrow. You're going to hear from industry experts and customers of Planful who are going to give you practical insights into how modernizing your technology and processes are essential to survive and thrive. But this isn't about buying and implementing software. This is about having a vision. Here at Planful, we believe in the vision of continuous planning, a framework for driving modern financial planning and decision-making in all pockets of your organization. And I'm excited to begin to unpack that today. But before we do that, who am I? My name is Grant Halloran, and I was honored to become the Planful CEO around about 10 months ago. By now, you can probably tell I am not American. That's right. I grew up in Australia, one of 6 kids to Brian and Maureen, who were children of the Great Depression. That's me here in the front, sporting what one might now call a COVID-19 quarantine haircut. I'd like to say that was an unusual haircut, but unfortunately that was the norm until I discovered hair clippers and hair gel in high school and rebranded myself just in time for the wave of school dances. Now, speaking of rebranding, I wanted to share with you why we rebranded the company in January this year. Our previous name, Host Analytics, served the company incredibly well for a long time, since our inception in 2001. But nearly 2 decades later, we have significantly evolved our capabilities and our vision. Our focus and passion have always been for our customers, and we wanted a new name that embodies that focus. We wanted a name that represented the character of our customers, who are systematic and methodical and they're future looking. Indeed, this is the very definition of what it means to be planful, which is a real word, by the way. So we felt inspired to name our company after our customers and for us to become Planful. Which is a great segue into saying thank you to all our amazing customers on behalf of all the Planful employees and our partners. Since I joined the company, every single change we've made and continue to make is intended to improve our customer experience for you. We've made strides forward, but it's not enough, and we are continuing to work tirelessly to get better for you. A special shout out to our incredible partner community. I'm a huge believer in partners being an extension of our organization and we of theirs. Our customers cannot achieve their goals without the professional and dedicated group of Planful partners. We look forward to continuing our journey together. Thank you. At last, but not least, certainly not least, we wouldn't be here today without our amazing employees. We have offices in the Bay Area, in Hyderabad in India, and Scottsdale in Arizona. And now we're truly experiencing how flat the earth really is by successfully working 100% virtually. We have not missed a beat in terms of business continuity in this time. And I want to thank all of our employees for their incredible resilience, customer focus, and outstanding collaboration and truly team spirit. Thank you guys. I'm really proud of all of you. The last couple of months have illustrated to us in a stark and horrifying way how fragile our plans and expectations for our businesses and our lives are in the face of this massive black swan event. But the nature of this economic black swan event has also resulted in a dramatically accelerated paradigm shift in society. Now, normally a paradigm shift occurs over several years or maybe up to a decade, relying on consumers and businesses to gradually adapt to new behaviors, new options, new ways of doing things, new ways of working. But this pandemic has changed behaviors and preferences across the world, probably forever, in the space of weeks. Not years, not months, but weeks. This pandemic has shown us how interconnected the world is, how uncertain it is, and how the things that we control are far outweighed by the things that we don't control. We were already in a state of continuous change. We knew that. Businesses today have so many variables that deviations from plan, requiring reforecasts, course-correcting decisions, were normal. But now we realize we face a world in the future where the conventions of life and business that we took for granted are no longer. Some of them may come back, but many of them won't. Where we could previously try to predict the future with some degree of confidence, we now face a world of incredible uncertainty. These are uncharted waters, and regardless of your time horizon, easy answers to these key questions are out of reach. In the short term, when will the economy be fully up and running again? When will business confidence and investment start to rise? Will there be a serious new outbreak of this virus that causes lockdowns again in the fall or the winter? What will the impact of higher unemployment be on consumer demand? But longer term questions are also hard to answer, are they not? What does our future supply chain look like? How will behaviors of consumers, especially the baby boomers, a big driver of consumer spending, how will they be affected? What does our future workforce look like? How much will remote working become normal, even demanded by some employees? What will the impact be to real estate values? And how will we withstand the next inevitable pandemic? Regardless of the time horizon, the point is this. As we try to come up with answers, we're all going to get many of them wrong. Last weekend, I read an email from Korn Ferry CEO Gary Burnison, and I quote, "Everywhere the circuit breakers have been tripped, now it's the big reset. To thrive, all companies need to think and act like startups and reimagine their future. If they don't, their competition will." And then he says, in the next 2 years, we will see more change than we've seen in the last 20. And even if he's precisely incorrect, he's directionally correct, in my opinion. And finally, he says, we will usually get things wrong. We will usually get things wrong. Wow, this is a powerful statement, a powerful truth. As finance and accounting professionals, let me ask you, how often have you seen your business perform to an annual plan without a lot of course correcting along the way? Most of you will be honest and you'll say, very rarely. Business is continuous, course correcting, reforecasting, replanning the business is normal. But here is a new reality. Every business must urgently ready themselves to course correct far more often and faster than ever before, because what you expect to happen in a lot of cases won't. In fact, budgets for 2020 are largely already out the window, are they not? How many times will budgets need to be readjusted over the coming 36 months? How many times? Many, many times. Years have become quarters, quarters have become months, and months are now weeks. The solution to this conundrum isn't in hoping that you'll get the answers right. The solution is in becoming truly agile as an organization. The answer is in becoming a continuous planning company. Here at Planful, when we talk about continuous planning, we are not talking about software product, although that is part of it. Rather, we are talking about an organizational capability. Continuous planning is a framework for faster, smarter, more agile financial decision-making in a business. It recognizes that business is continuous, and therefore, planning and decision-making should be continuous too. The antiquated idea that planning is something a business only does once a year in this painful process, that antiquated idea increasingly spells disaster for many businesses in the future because constant change has become the norm. Business advantage, especially in the world we are living in today, comes from being nimble, agile, and smart with resources. Business leaders need to be able to respond to changing conditions at a moment's notice, faster than your competitors, in order to capitalize on new opportunities, protect against threats, and frankly, take the lead in their markets. Rob Kugel with Ventana Research, a fantastic analyst, who coined the term continuous planning a few years ago, states that continuous planning is a high participation, collaborative, action-oriented approach to planning built on frequent, short planning sprints. And I love that word, sprints. This enables organizations to enhance the accuracy of their plans, Rob goes on to say, because refinements are made at shorter intervals. Continuous planning is continuous across an enterprise, allowing a more integrated approach to planning. Doug Henschen, another fantastic analyst, works with Constellation Research, recently stated that continuous planning is the new normal. I think at this moment, it's important that we take this opportunity to unpack what continuous planning means more specifically. We think about continuous planning in terms of three key elements: compressing cycle times in every corner of the business in a connected, collaborative way. Compressing cycle times happens by automating routine, traditionally time-consuming, laborious, mundane tasks. It is accelerating, for example, the financial close, distributing your actuals, that key feedback to the business, faster, so people have more immediate, frequent interactions with the most current data, trustable data. They're then able to see those insights, reforecast their plans, course correct with new budgets if needed, understanding what's changed in their business and in the market. As cycle times compress, planning and decision-making cycles occur not only faster, but much more frequently. This paradigm empowers the business with the speed and agility to pivot and course correct immediately as business conditions change. Rather important right now, I'm sure you will agree. Once cycle times have been compressed, we start to think about how we expand planning and that financial decision-making rigor into every corner of your business. Often we start with use cases in the Office of Finance. Close and consolidation, for example, regulatory reporting, OPEX planning, revenue planning, cash flow forecasting, workforce planning. These are very important use cases. Once we do that, we're able to then liberate the FP&A team, which gives them an opportunity to transform from being a reactive service desk style organization into a strategic business partner who can then lead and drive the culture and vision of continuous planning into other parts of the business. If you don't free up your time, how will you do this? The FP&A team, when they do it, then begins to engage with their business counterparts by delivering them bespoke, customized data models and plans and customized user experiences designed for the way they plan and execute their specific business functions. This is very important. We have very important sessions very specifically around this over the next coming days. In fact, John Van Decker and Bob Anderson with Gartner wrote that the Office of Finance is uniquely positioned to drive continuous company-wide financial planning and analysis initiatives. Gartner predicts that by 2024, 70% of new FP&A projects, 70%, will become extended planning and analysis projects, extending their scope beyond the finance domain into other areas of enterprise planning and analysis. Finally, the third element of continuous planning is collaboration and connections that bring it all together. Effective planning and decision-making cannot happen in silos. Rather, it's a collaborative effort that requires input and expertise and engagement from the leaders and experts in every corner of the business. But so often silos exist because finance and their business counterparts tend to operate at different levels of the data. They're focused on different objectives and timelines, which adds to the breakdown in communication and collaboration. The Planful platform enables the connection of people and plans in a more frictionless way. Our dynamic collaboration tools enable real-time, threaded conversations throughout the process, providing the context behind the numbers and capturing the thinking behind the decisions. Really important. What's the context behind the numbers and what's the thinking behind these decisions? We have sessions on dynamic collaboration that you have to attend these next couple of days. Our platform enables deployment of bespoke data models and user experiences built for each business team's specific needs, and it automates the connection of those plans and models across teams and then back to finance. You'll learn more about that in our dynamic planning session scheduled for later today at 12:30 p.m. Pacific. So let's bring it all back together. Connected planning enables you to be faster, more frequent in your FP&A cycles. It enables company-wide involvement in financial and operational planning, and it fosters great collaboration. The really good news is that adopting this framework for the future of FP&A is all about going on a journey. You can incrementally mature your capabilities. And I'd love you to join Planful's Rowan Tonkin session later on Thursday, where he's going to really specifically cover that maturity model. All of our 800 customers are somewhere on this journey already, whether you knew it or not before now. Now we just want to give you a more detailed map to go forward with. You're going to hear from a few Planful customers over the next 3 days, and each will share a glimpse into their continuous planning journey. First, there's Planar, which manufactures digital displays for sports arenas, large conference centers, electronic billboards. We're all excited to get back into those locations, I'm sure. They use our platform to accelerate actuals creation. They transform gap actuals to management views in one click. They set up their monthly rolling forecast every month in just half a day. The Boston Red Sox, the iconic Major League Baseball team with 9 World Championship titles, uses Planful company-wide for dynamic planning. And by company-wide, they mean from the field to the skyboxes. Even the head groundskeeper uses Planful to plan and manage his entire operations, from staff and supplies to the grass seed and the chalk, even the chalk. that they use to mark the field. Bose, the popular sound and entertainment brand, is a good example of using continuous planning as they recover from the current COVID-19 crisis. And as they put it, pivot and redirect the ship. Like nearly everyone else, they had to close their retail operations. So workforce planning is their first priority right now, along with medium-term demand planning and rapid reforecasting. These are fantastic examples of the power of continuous planning, and I encourage you to attend the sessions with Bose, Red Sox, and Planner, and others that we have scheduled this week. So now you're intrigued, I can tell. Okay, I can't really see you, so I'm just guessing that you're intrigued because this is a very intriguing and compelling value proposition. A few days ago, McKinsey published a paper about the essential need to modernize planning approaches and tools. One quote jumped out at me. For those FP&A teams that have not explored automation and other time-saving technologies, the crisis may be a jumping-off point to do so, freeing up members of the financial planning team to serve as strategy partners and value managers rather than report generators. Of course, all of us would agree with this. But at Planful, we've been working hard on removing some of the obstacles that companies find get in the way of moving forward. One of these is the speed at which you can get up and running and start achieving business value. So today, I'm excited to announce Planful Now. Planful Now is a program that we've worked very hard on with our partners, whereby you can be up and running in the Planful Cloud in as little as 30 days, with a fixed implementation fee for many critical use cases, especially for the issues that you're facing right now. Some of these key use cases are, for example, direct method cash flow forecasting, multi-dimensional ad hoc analysis, for instance, SKU level analysis, financial reporting, operating budgets, scenario modeling. This applies to existing customers as well as new customers. Of course, we and our partners will tailor our implementations as necessary, and some may go a little bit longer if they're more complicated. But the key point I want to make right now is that it's a myth today that one cannot be up and running very, very quickly for many of these use cases in the Planful platform. Let me just share a few examples of customers that have been up and running that quickly. Smarty Pants Vitamins went live on Planful in just 3 weeks, tackling sales and trade planning and financial reporting first. Now they have their sales managers actively using the platform, and they're already doing rolling monthly forecasts. Carter, a fantastic Bay Area company, provides software as a service to help companies manage equity plans, was live in Planful in just 6 weeks. They started with financial reporting, and that's already cut 10 hours of work every week from their workload. And they'll be soon rolling out workforce planning and sales planning. Temple University was live in Planful in just 4 weeks. Temple tackled financial consolidations and reporting first, and next they'll be rolling out structured planning for FP&A and then dynamic planning for their non-finance folks in their organization. And they're planning to roll this out throughout the whole university globally, including a campus in Japan. So what else am I excited about, which I think you should really look forward to in these next couple of days? In particular, I really don't want you to miss tomorrow's product keynote, where the team will touch on things like augmented insights with signal detection and predictive forecasting, as well as showcase features that we call dynamic canvas, dynamic collaboration, and workforce planning. Truly, this functionality is game-changing, and I really encourage you to check those sessions out. So thank you for giving me this opportunity to unpack the key elements of continuous planning. As you progress through this journey, please know that you will elevate the financial IQ of the entire organization, and you folks in the Office of Finance will be leading this charge, evolving to be an enabler of these business-wide capabilities. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'll be back in a minute or two to introduce our new CFO, Shane Hanson, and also for us to talk about the progress that we've made as a company in the last year. Thank you.